Here we are. Let me add somebody very important. Hey guys, bear with me. Hey guys, sorry I'm a little late. Okay, hope everybody is well. Hey Amy, hey to Archives Goulding, hello to Poops. I'm just waiting for my very, very special guest.
Hi.
Is. Hello, sir.
Hi, Ellie. How are you?
I'm really good. All the better for seeing you, to be honest.
Ah, well, I feel the same way. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much for being here. Look, I'm going to just do my thing and say hello to everybody. First of all, thank you so much for joining us from the UK, here in rainy London, and the rest of the UK, and also in the US. I know that so many of you already are with me, are with us, determined to stand up for our planet. But just days away now from this understatement, pivotal election, we have some important information on nature and the climate, and I'm going to tell you why. We're going to tell you why. Even though we cannot vote here, we wish we could. We are Biden-Harris all the way. Let's just say that right now. Let's just be clear about that. So to make this point, I am so happy. I can't tell you how delighted I am to introduce one of my heroes and one of the greatest climate activists ever. Yes, it's Vice President Al Gore. What a legend. So many achievements. It's just incredible. So many accomplishments. Vice President Gore is a Nobel Prize winner, but he also brought us an inconvenient truth. It's one of the first things that I watched that really woke me up, and I think it woke a lot of people up. If you haven't seen it, guys, please do watch it. And then the follow-up film, the ultimate wake-up call for a lot of us. But you guys know me well, and you know that I do like to talk about the problems, but more so I like to talk about the solutions. And that's what Vice President Gore majors in. He loves solutions, as I do. And we are here because we believe Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have a plan for us, for the planet. So a vote for Team Biden is a vote for the climate and for all of our futures. So no big deal. And Vice President Gore, thank you so much
Uh,
for being here. I can't tell you what an honor this is. How are you? How are you feeling? What's going on over there? What's the vibe?
well, first of all, Ellie, thank you for doing this. Thank you for your very kind words. I back at you, as they say. I have been a huge fan of your music for a long time, and a big fan of your social conscience and your willingness to get involved and really make a difference. And it was such a thrill to talk to you a bit on FaceTime last evening, your time. Did you get the song finished?
You know, we got a pretty decent chorus, and you know, these days I think it's, you know, a case of don't bore us, get to the chorus. You know, we'll write the verses at a later date, but I think the chorus is there. It's a song about coming home, feeling like you want to, you know, go home, be in a place of safety, and you know, I think we can all relate to that, you know, nostalgia of where we come from and where we grew up. So that's what the general vibe was. But thank you for asking.
Well, well, I am going to listen to it when it comes out with special interest. I love all your music, but having a window into your creative process while you were writing and making the song, it's going to really pique my curiosity even more.
Oh,
But anyway, thank you for doing this. And in answer to your question, I'm doing fine. I am, you know, working on climate reality and training climate activists
yeah.
around the world. We just trained another 10,000 virtually I just had an agriculture and climate conference, but the most important work right now is making sure that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get elected. And I am grateful to you for taking your time and devoting your interest in that as well. And it kind of goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. For all of the U.S. citizens who are listening to us right now, if you haven't voted yet, make a plan to vote. In most states, you can do it absentee, but now we're so close to the election that it's better to vote in person or take your ballot and deliver it personally. Anyway, every single vote counts. Take it from me. I've been through this, and we just cannot afford, we in the U.S., we in the world, we humanity. I don't want to make it sound too grandiose, but actually that's appropriate because we're running out of time to solve the climate crisis. It's still getting worse faster than we're putting the solutions in place. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have the most extensive and impressive climate action plan ever presented during a presidential campaign. And he's putting it front and center. So it's just super important.
So you've already mentioned this. Why is it? Look, we're stating the obvious. Come on, but why is it important to vote for Joe Biden? And we're obviously talking, both of us, being passionate about this planet, passionate about all of our futures. Why is it so important to vote for Joe Biden? I'm just going to put it out there. You said already, huge clean energy plan, which is not just something, it's not, to me, to all of us, to us, is not an option to have a clean energy plan. It is essential and crucial for all of our futures, right? So yeah, I guess I touched on it already, but why is this so important? Why is this the pivotal election now?
Yeah, well, there are many reasons actually, but I'm just going to focus on one, which I think is the most important one, and that's the climate crisis. We're still putting more than 150 million tons of man-made global warming pollution into the sky every single day. The sky's a very thin shell of atmosphere surrounding our planet. If you could drive a car straight up in the air at highway speeds, you get to the top of the sky in about 5 minutes. It's a pretty thin space. And the molecules, we're talking CO2 here, there are others, but let's don't complicate it. Each molecule of CO2 stays up there on average about 100 years. And that means it accumulates. And we're continuing to add to it. And the accumulated amount that's up there now traps as much extra heat in the Earth's system every day as would be released by 600,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs exploding every single day. It's almost impossible for me to wrap my head around a number that big, but we see it every day now. Another hurricane just hit the Gulf Coast here in the U.S. Last night. This is almost a record-breaking season. If we get one more, it will break the record. And poor Louisiana, they've been. I'm sorry.
Not. I was going to say, just to interrupt you. Sorry, sir, but it's not freak events anymore. The extreme weather is a direct result of climate change. We now have to really keep on that connection and make that connection. It is not a freak thing here, a freak thing there. These things are happening now because of climate change, and they will only get worse.
Yes, that's exactly right. And you've seen it in the United Kingdom with the wet years after wet years after wet years with record downpours and flooding. And we're seeing it here not only with the hurricanes and the flooding, but also the fires out west in California and Colorado.
Yeah, I think that was something that was really scary. We were seeing the footage. We also saw the crazy footage in Australia, and it felt incredibly eerie. It felt like a wake up call for a lot of Americans, I feel like. Yeah,
it felt like Blade Runner 3. And actually, in San Francisco, at noontime, in the middle of the day, it looked like Blade Runner with an dark orange sky and all the smoke and people trying to get their kids to some place where they can breathe clean air. Anyway, all these things are going on, and not just in the UK and the US, but all over the world. And yes, you're exactly right that they're predicted to get worse until we change policies.
Right.
Now, here's the good news, Ellie. Just in the last few weeks, China, Japan, South Korea, the European Union have all announced brand new goals to really get moving on this. But the U.S., under the current president, has tried to withdraw from the Paris Agreement, has tried to increase fossil fuel pollution, and Joe Biden is exactly the opposite. He's going to do the right thing, and that's why it's crucial to elect him.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, what you just said, it is, look, it is just insanity to not only, I mean, to not do anything as a president is one thing. To reverse things that could maybe help, that can push things in the right direction is pure insanity. We know that, which is why we're here, and this is why it's so important. It's beyond, politics now. It is literally saving our planet. And look, like you said, it sounds extreme. It sounds, like dystopian, but it really is. This is what is at stake. So this is why it's so important to vote for the right person, and for somebody who really cares about the planet and cares about creating jobs in green energy, because I know a lot of people are always conscious of jobs, which we all are. It's jobs. It's the most important thing. But then it's also having somebody that knows that those jobs have to come with something new, which is away from fossil fuels, away from oil, and into green energy, which Joe has stated that he's going to do. It needs to embrace greater ambition on a bigger scale to meet the scope of that challenge. So at some point the US achieves 100% clean energy economy, I mean, which is ambitious, but it can be done. I think we've proven that in a lot of places. And what did China have just said? They're going to become carbon neutral by, was it
2060, which sounds like a long way off, but they plan their work and work their plan.
Yeah.
And they're now revising their new 5-year plan. They're going to peak their emissions much earlier than formerly thought. So it's all good news. And you mentioned jobs, and for you, fastest growing job in the U.S. over the last 5 years has been solar installer. And solar jobs have been growing 5 times faster than average job growth. And the fastest growing job in the next decade is projected to be wind turbine technician, and solar and wind are 2 of the 3 fastest growing jobs. And there in the UK at Oxford, there was this major study of the global economy that just came out recently. And some, the most distinguished economists. And one of their conclusions was that in the recovery that the world economy needs in the aftermath of this pandemic, that's another reason why we need to vote for Biden and Harris. And don't get me started on that one, but it's kind of similar. Either you respect what the most knowledgeable people, including the scientists who are expert in this, are telling you, or you don't. And the current president doesn't. Joe Biden does. In any case, at Oxford, they found that there are 3 times as many jobs created dollar for dollar by investments in renewable energy compared to fossil fuels. So we've got the wind at our backs, no pun intended. We really do. But we need to change the policy. And forgive me for saying this as an American, Ellie, but I really do think that we're still in a period of history where the United States, with the world's biggest economy and a lot of things going for it, if we can ever get it back on the right track, the United States is the one country with probably the best chance to provide global leadership,
Right.
and a President Joe Biden could do that and would do that.
And he could make America, you know, become the country that is at the forefront. You know, they could be you know, the climate heroes. They could be the people that really lead everything, which
Right.
is what led, you know, in so many ways. And look, we can be honest and say that it's not there now because of certain somebody, but it could be there. And that's what by voting for the right person, this is what we could be achieving. And it's, you know, it's a good it's an amazing feeling to know that could happen with the right person. I think that you agree with me that without that, it is a disaster. Look, we've got to be honest about it. I know people find it scary. It is a scary thing to think about and to read about and to watch. I know people watching now, I can see the comments are, you know, are scared. It is quite a reality to be faced with. But we're optimists, and you know, we're climate optimists. We're people that, you know, we really think that by having the right attitude and by doing the right thing, we can really get somewhere. So I think that's what we need to keep pushing, don't we, with people?
Absolutely, because you know, it's not wrong to be tremendously worried about the direction of the climate crisis. It is still getting worse, but we can't allow ourselves to be paralyzed by fear, and we can't just give in to despair. It's not appropriate. Too much is at stake, and we have the solutions available to us. You know, I've mentioned a couple of times that there's good news. There's good news on the international diplomatic front. There's good news on the technology front. Solar and wind power keep getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Electric vehicles are beginning to come down rapidly in price, and there's so many other examples. And if we really decide that we want to solve the climate crisis, the good news is we have the ability to do it.
It can
but
happen.
we need leadership. We need leadership. And that's why this election, just a few days from now in the US, is absolutely crucial.
Sir, I wish there were more people like you. You are such an inspiration and incredible. And
you're nice to say that, but again, back at you.
Look, not that I want to focus on, you know, this person, but, you know, the current president has said that he is a great environmentalist. What do you say about that? What do you think about that?
Well, oh my gosh. Well, when a new outrage comes along, as it does every few hours with him, I have to download some existing outrage in order to make room for the new outrage. And then, just it's human nature, we forget about all the outrages of yesterday and the day before and last week and the month before that. And him saying he's a great environmentalist would certainly be classified as outrageous. No, he's put a coal lobbyist in favor of more pollution in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency. He's put another fossil fuel lobbyist in charge of the Department of Interior. In every case, there is a polluter or a special interest hack of some sort who is actually assigned responsibility for environmental policy. And so the pattern is very, very clear. And there's a lot of grifting going on. A lot of these people worked for companies that make money from more pollution, and now they slot them into these government positions to change the policy so they can have yet more pollution. So no, that's not environmentalism.
Yes, I do agree with you. So look, I know I'm not going to keep you for too long because I'm sure you are incredibly busy. But I guess what we should do at this point is, because, you know, this election is it's coming up, it's soon, it's a crucial time. So I guess, you know, this is like it's a call to action, right? So we need to, I think what we've come to the conclusion of, you know, things need to change, policy needs to change, like dramatically, literally the opposite of what's going on right now in America. And
Right.
people will say to me, you know, you're English, what have you got to do with the, you know, the election? And
Yeah.
look, I have to say that the reason why I'm involved and the reason why my fans care and the reason why we care here in the UK is because, look, we want America to be an ally. We are an ally with America. We want America to be at the front so we can follow suit, and we can all be in this together, which we have to be. There's nothing that can be achieved without all of us being in this together, right? I think we've established that, which is why I was so heartbroken about you leaving the EU, actually. But you know, that's another matter that we've got here in the UK. So basically, the reason why I care and the reason why we care here in the UK is because, you know, this is going to affect the whole world. We already know that, America, we're leaving. Trump's administration decided to leave the Paris Agreement, just mental, absolutely mind-blowing. And you know, other things that affects the rest of the world. You know, America is such a big player in this, and we've seen that China have promised things about going carbon neutral. Other countries, that we need America to be at the forefront of this. We do,
Right.
and this is why it's so important, not just to America but the whole world. This election affects the whole world. It is, you know, there are aftershocks, there are after effects, and there will be, and this affects all of our future. So that's my long answer to why am I involved? Why do I care? I suppose I would call myself a climate activist. I deeply care about the environment, and I care about young people's future. There's something about knowing that information, learning about what's going on, seeing your film Inconvenient. Seeing other things. I know people have been watching the new Attenborough series recently, and people are waking up, and there's some things that you can't turn your back on, and there's some things you cannot look away from. And once you know it, you know, it's inconceivable to then, you know, ignore it and just be like, oh, somebody else can deal with this. No, we're all responsible individually, but mostly we need leaders to share the same passion and enthusiasm and dedication as all these incredible people, you know, activists, scientists, climate scientists, you know, exacerbated people who have the information, have the science, which we all believe in, obviously. And then, you know, it's not matched by leaders. It's not matched by these big leaders, and namely the current president. So with that, breathe. So
You're great.
What are we going to say to these people that are still with us? And thank you so much for staying with us and enjoying this chat, hopefully, and learning a few things. So you can text WIN, right? If you're in America, you can text WIN to 30330. So that's WIN, the word WIN, with the number 30330 to join the campaign.
Now, was that 30330?
Yes.
And you're supposed to text WIN, WIN, to 330330?
Yep, so it's as simple as that. That's your call to action. And then, I mean, it says here, look, I'm a little bit kind of out of it here in the UK, but you can check your registration and plan at iwillvote.com.
iwillvote.com, and that'll tell you whatever state you live in. You can find your state, and that will tell you how to vote. You can find your location, and there are only a few days left. But to anyone listening and watching, please vote. It's so crucially important, and we also need volunteers to work at the polls. You can also call the Biden-Harris campaign office and volunteer. You can also call your own friends to make sure they're voting for Biden and Harris. And, you know, if you need to take somebody to the polls, but one way or another, make sure you vote, make sure you encourage other people to vote. And if you want to go the extra step, you can also volunteer and become a worker at the polls. A lot, you know, when I go to vote, I've always known since I was young that a lot of older people dedicated to making democracy work work the polls every year. But now with the pandemic, some of them are justifiably a little nervous about doing that. And so young people are stepping in to fill their places. And so you can do that also, whatever your age is. But the most important thing by far is to vote. And if you want to do more than that, text WIN. Now, let me see if I can remember what you told me, Ellie. Text WIN to 30330. Did I get it right?
Got it right. Right, okay, so WIN to 30330 to join the campaign. And look, if any of you guys have got friends in the US who might not be watching, but can still vote, please make sure they do that. And you might not have a bunch of followers, but you might have followers in the US who still haven't voted. And look, finally, I'm just going to say that we need a president, and not just America. We all need, this affects all of us. This administration affects all of us, and their EPA and their decisions, their policy affects all of us in the world, even us in the UK. So we need someone who protects the health of the planet, who fights for all of our futures, for our collective future. And look, Joe Biden is that president. There is no doubt about it. Yeah, like I said, we're in the UK, but any of my US fans or friends, please vote for Joe Biden. And we need the US back in the game, back in the climate game, and at the climate talks. And not just taking part, but being leaders in this, because that's what America is good at. And so let's get America back in the game, because we need you. We all need you. But Vice President Gore, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellie.
I love you. Look, I'm going to put it out there. You are amazing. And we need more people like you in the world. And I'm proud well, I'm going to say know you. I'm proud to speak to you. I'm proud to be talking to you. And just thank you for everything you've done and you continue to do. And look, let's be optimistic and let's hope things are going to go our way.
Thank you, Ellie. You are the absolute best. I'm so honored to take part in this. And thank you for taking your time to help America make the right decision on this. And to everyone, thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget to vote. And it's been such a great privilege, Ellie, for me to take part in this with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And maybe I'll see you soon. But thank you.
Hope so. Hope so. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'll send you the song.
Please do. Yeah, I can't wait. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.